Well, joining me now is Mike Bako from New York. He's the sports editor for dailynational.com. Good to speak with you again, Mike.
Good to be with you.
So, for now, we just heard spectators will be allowed in limited capacity, cheering to be banned. I want to get your reaction to this latest news, and also as a sports journalist, you've covered this forever now. You've seen the Olympics. Talk about how these kind of more subdued fan conditions might affect a live sporting competition.
I think what we've seen here in the States and across the globe in terms of not having fans, you lose the intimacy, you lose the sort of passion that the fans bring not only to the game that's going on, but athletes have even commented that they get more riled up. They have a little bit more passion behind when they're playing. It helps motivate them to a certain degree. And when you're talking about Olympic athletes, one of the great stories of any Olympic Games is who becomes that hero, who becomes that person that everyone is cheering for. That's what you lose by having no spectators, but certainly limited spectators in terms of capping at either 50% or the 10,000 that are going to be in each of these venues and facilities.
I mean, it's just been months of fits and starts, will we, won't we, and then there was no international spectators. And really, these games are going to be taking place under such a cloud. Do you think this magic and the excitement of the Olympics are dimmed? Should it even go ahead?
Well, they're going to be going ahead. That ship has sailed in terms of taking into consideration the financial aspects of things. Certainly all of the health and safety precautions, those are front and center for everyone to see. They've decided to move forward. Dr. Umi, the local medical person who's in charge of all the athletic competitions, has said that he probably would not recommend these games going on. Health and safety was the #1 priority. The organizers feel like they could have different safety measures along the way, whether it be those athletes and reporters, preponderance of them being vaccinated. That's a good start. Limiting the number of people that are coming to watch. That's another thing that is helpful. That's probably one when you look at the overall ramifications of everything. There's about $800 million on the line here in terms of where the local organizers are getting some of their revenue. Over 75% comes from international rights fees, about 20% comes from sponsorships, and we talked about some of those special accommodations that are being made to sponsors and local officials. They won't be counted towards that 50%, so they would get preferential treatment. So there's about $500 million to about $1 billion in ticket sales that are going to be taken into consideration here, and a lot of givebacks are going to need to be done, because not all of those people that bought tickets are going to be allowed into those venues and arenas.
But still, public health taking a little bit of a backseat to economics. Very quickly, we have about a minute left, Mike. I want to just move away from the coronavirus for a second. What are some of the most talked about sporting highlights for these games?
Yeah, well, when you look at the sporting highlights in any Olympics, you look at a couple of major sports. You look at track and field, you look at gymnastics, you look at basketball, you look at some of the new sports that are coming into the Olympics. So this is one of the Olympics where they're trying out new sports. They're bringing in less conventional sports, so that's going to get a lot of attention. But I think when it comes down to it, the big sports are track and field, the big sports are swimming, the big sports are gymnastics. Those are the ones that take place over multiple days, so you're able to build up the storylines, figure out who you want to root for, who the top contenders are. Certainly here in the States, those are the sports that we're also the best at. So those are going to be ones that have the highest feel in terms of people wanting to be emotionally invested. And when you're emotionally invested, you watch, you follow, and that's where the ratings come from.
My Bako, big story. We'll continue to check in with you, I'm sure. Thank you.